Record. All right, welcome to LunarFlow. Let's begin our LunarFlow practice on our backs. Everybody lay down, take your legs out nice and long. Reach your arms up over your head, take a big stretch, and then just let everything soften. You can leave your arms out. You can drop them down by your sides, hand to heart, hand to belly, whatever feels appropriate to you right now. So today, the astrology, we have a waning moon. So the moon is shedding each night. So we can benefit from all sorts of different shedding, eliminating, reducing, exhale type activities. The sun is also conjunct Neptune. So that means that the sun and Neptune are, they're very close in the sky. Neptune is a planet that kind of blurs boundaries. It deals with very intangible topics like imagination, compassion, deception, smoke and mirrors, intuition. All of that stuff is, you can't really grab it. It's rather intangible. So that for us today means that we have a little bit more blurred boundaries. So that comes out in lots of different ways. That means we are more sensitive to our environment. So the chemicals in the room, the negative energy in the room, if someone's having a really rough day, that can seep over into us. We pick up on things a little bit more. Our sensitivity receptor is a little bit higher. So to begin our practice today, I want you just to notice the edges of your body. Notice the boundaries. Maybe it helps to really pay attention to your clothes on your skin. Helps to give a tangible point of focus for these very intangible kinds of topics, thoughts, feelings. Now, I want you to imagine yourself as a bowl. So, however, like a bowl that you would put soup in or a bowl that you would put water in. I like to think of a bird bath too, like that nice concrete, really sturdy base, and then the water's on the inside. Now, I want you to imagine that everyone you've spoken to, everything you've engaged with, everything you've encountered over the last month has left a little like water droplet of water in your bowl of water. So what started out as nice, clean, beautiful, clear water, it's now probably a little bit murky. Just because we pick up on things when we're out in the world, we pick up on things when we're engaging with other people. So I want you to imagine just lovingly coming up to this big, beautiful, sturdy bowl, and dumping it out. Just dump it out into grass, into sand, into a lake, into a puddle. And then I want you to imagine adding fresh, clean water back to that bowl. I think it's important to do this for ourselves periodically to pause and just recognize that we've collected a lot. We can dump it out and start with fresh water for the day. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Take your arms over your head again, big stretch. Breathe in and breathe out, soften. Pull your right knee towards your chest. Use your hands to bring it in nice and close. And then take some rotations with your right ankle, circles with your foot around your ankle joint. And then also add in some points and flexes. Relax your foot. Notice what stillness feels like in your body. And then let's take some arches with the knee. Just rainbow arch it from side to side. Back and forth. Really pay attention to the sensations that arise in your body from this movement. Notice where the sensation arises. So is it when your knee is all the way out to the right side or all the way over to the left side? And just give this part of your body permission to do what it needs to do. That's lubrication, awesome. If that is just movement, some flexibility, some range of motion, awesome. Let's bring this knee back towards center, back towards our chest. Grab onto the back side of your thigh. Lift your toes up to the ceiling. Point your foot. Let's exhale, bend your knee, flex your toes, peel your toes back as far as you can. Inhale, lift your leg, point your toes. Exhale, bend your knee, flex your foot up and down a couple times on your own. Use the sensations to really anchor into what you're doing. Keep your mind with your body here on this mat. If you notice yourself drifting, if you're thinking about the day, if you're thinking about yesterday, just re-anchor into those physical sensations. Let's do two more. And then we'll take a half triple diamond on the right side. So we'll put our right foot to the inside of our left thigh. Take your right arm up over your head. And then maybe place your left hand on your body. Come back to that notion of your boundaries. Let's keep the focus on the physical boundaries for now. The separation between all of your fingers and toes. Your muscles and your bones. See if you can identify any muscles just through paying attention to the sensations. A lot of these sensations can be very subtle compared to what's going on outside of us. So it takes some intentional, deliberate, quiet time. Really connect with the various parts of our body. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. And then grab down onto your right knee. Pull this knee back in towards your chest. Let's give it a squeeze. Lift your nose up to your knee. Lift your left foot up off the ground just a couple inches so it's at a hover. And just squeeze. Use your core for this here. So press your belly button down towards the ground, your low back down towards the ground. And let's do our best to soften the muscles in our neck. Don't want to be lifting from there or straining from there. Just press, press, press down towards the ground. Awesome. Then release head, shoulders, heel. Keep your right knee towards your chest. Let's take a half happy baby on this right side. So right hand to right foot. You can bring your right knee towards your armpit. Bottom of the foot points to the ceiling. This is too much sensation. You can bring a bend into your left knee and just come into it gradually. The idea of blurred boundaries. Again, it's just a slippery concept. But when the boundaries between us and others are blurred, it's just easier to pick up on their frequencies. It's like a clear radio signal versus a kind of spotty one. Which is, gosh, what a gift, and also what a curse sometimes. Be able to witness people with less walls between you. And make it really easy to see what people need, how they need to be supported, how they need to be nurtured. But it also makes it easier for us to kind of personalize those emotions and forget and just feel them as if they belong to us. Let's release this half happy baby. Bring your right knee back towards your chest. Pull it in close and then switch it out. Let's pull our left knee in. Take your right leg out nice and long. Start with some rotations with your right foot and ankle. Points, flexes, circles in either direction. Just want to wake up our foot, all the bones in our ankle and our foot. The fascia, I feel like the feet are an important part of our fascial system. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to go with it this morning. Let's bring stillness into that foot and just take a moment to observe how stillness feels compared to motion. And then we'll invite motion back in to our body with some big rainbow arches with this left knee. Going further along that kind of path of blurred boundaries, the truth can be kind of a blurry place. And it doesn't seem like that could be so. But I'm going to share a little story from Carolyn Mace, who I think this just illustrates how the truth can be blurry. The truth can be many things at the same time. Let's move this leg into more of a circular motion, circling around this hip joint. And then bring your left knee back towards center. Grab onto the back of your thigh and lift your foot upward. Let's just take some movement there. Points, flexes, circles. And then start to bend and unbend your legs. So we will, let's see, we'll exhale when we bend our knee, flex your foot, inhale, lengthen your leg, point your toes up and down a couple times on your own, really paying attention to that sensation. So Carolyn Mace is a medical intuitive. She's an author. She's a really interesting woman. And she tells the story about how there's two people that live at this condo complex in New York City. So they share the same address. And one of the people's on the first floor. When they look out their window, they can describe what they see. They see cars, they see people, they see concrete and cement and buildings and all sorts of things. And that person up on the top floor, when they describe what they're looking at from their window at the same address as the other location, they can see Central Park, they can see clouds, they can see sky, they can see treetops. So when both of them share their truth from their perspective, they're both right. So the truth then also has a little bit of this boundless potentiality. Let's pull this left knee down towards our chest. Lift your nose up towards your knee, lift your right heel. Focus on drawing your belly button down towards the ground. Really squeeze. Press your low back downward, flex through your feet. Let's soften to the floor, head, neck, and shoulders. Bring your left leg into a half triple diamond. Left leg, left arm. Do what's right with your right hand. So we've got blurred boundaries between us and other people. The truth is a little bit of a blurry, hazy kind of a topic. And then we've got other ways, which could be, smoke and mirrors, deception, illusions. We can be observing a situation and feel pretty certain that this is reality, only to come later to find out that we were viewing things from a warped eye or a warped perspective. We weren't really looking at reality in the first place. This is what we do when we worry, when we're anticipating or expecting the worst from people. This is why balance, I feel like that's such a buzzword, but it's so important. It's so important. Because if we go really far to one side, we say, all right, boundaries all day, every day, we cut ourselves off from other people. But if we say no boundaries, then we float up into the ether without a tether to earth. We lose our grip on reality. Let's take a big breath in here. Take a big breath out. And bring your left knee back in towards your chest. Let's bring this side into a half happy baby. Left foot, left hand. Knee towards armpit, foot towards the ceiling. Back to that physical boundary that separates your internal world from your external world. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Bring your left knee back towards your chest and your right knee in towards your chest. So we've got both knees. Let's take some clockwise circles with both knees. Just moving around, kind of rolling into your low back a little bit. Change the direction of those circles. And let's come back to center. Bring your knees, your nose up towards your knees. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then release your head back down to the ground. Place your hands back on your knees and then lengthen your arms so there's no bend in your elbows. from there, with long arms, rock a couple times from side to side. See if you can feel that in your low back. Come back to center. Place your feet on the mat, full triple diamond, both knees open out wide to the sides of the room. Make any adjustments with your pelvis that you need, and then be deliberate with how and where you place your arms. So we can do hands to hips, hand to heart, hand to belly. You can do a wide T, a cactus, or a triple diamond shape with your arms. Back to your physical boundaries. Feel the clothes on your skin. Feel the air. There's a difference in the temperature between your inner body and the air around you. And then let's zero into our physicality a little bit. Let's zoom our focus onto our heart. Just want you to notice how it feels. Then using your imagination still, thank you, Neptune and Pisces season. I want you to imagine that anyone you've talked to lately, there is a cord going from your heart to their heart. It can be an embroidery thread, it could be a chain, it could be a ski rope, it could be anything. But I just want you to imagine, especially just reflecting over everyone you've engaged with lately. If every one of those people had a connective cord going from their heart to your heart, what would your heart look like right now? Would it be full? Would it be meager? What does it look like? And I want you to imagine some people like to imagine Archangel Michael with his sword, just cutting all of those cords in one really dramatic, big swoop of the sword. Maybe it's a couple, depending on how many connections you have. This isn't to disconnect you from everyone. This is so you can pull your energy back to your heart. We can keep our little bowl of water clean with this exercise. Just cutting everything, just for now. Get their emotions out of you, get their thoughts out of you, get them out of you. So now it's just you. You have that clean, clear water that isn't murky. It is not clouded. It doesn't have the influence of anyone else but you and God. Slowly, start to lift your knees back up towards the ceiling. Walk your feet out to the edges of your mat and then let your knees fall together at center. With your physical body, boundaries are established. We've cut the cords to your heart that have been giving you energy, mixing up your energy, clouding up your energy. And let's do that same little imaginary practice with our mind, all of the mental cords that you have going to various people, various places, various things. Let's be grateful and then cut those cords. I really just love the imagery of the archangel and the sword, just big sweeping motions with the sword. all of your mental energy back, all of your heart energy back. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Let's walk our feet in so they're together. And then roll over to a side and very slowly, very easily press your way up to a seat. We're going to come up to a seated position. Stack your ears over your shoulders. And then close your eyes and just pause for a moment. Pause to make your arms really heavy, your legs really heavy. And then drop your chin down towards your chest and slowly roll your head from side to side. Bring your gaze back up to neutral and then look over your right shoulder. Tuck your chin down towards your shoulder, towards your collarbone. And then sweep your head side to side a few times. Roll it out. And let's bring our gaze back up. Look over to the left, over your left shoulder. Keep both shoulders low. And tuck your chin down towards your collarbone. And take a few sweeps, a couple rolls with your head. All right, bring your head back to neutral. Let's take our legs out long. So we're going to stretch them out nice and long in front of us. With an inhale, reach your hands up over your head, and then exhale, fold your way forward. Come back to the physical sensation. We are operating from a different plane. Now we're no longer laying on our grounds, we're sitting on our buns. Notice the different sensation that comes from gravity affecting you differently. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Then walk your way back up. Let's put a bend in our knees and kind of lean back on your hands. Rock knees from side to side. Back to center. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and start to work your way in closer. So we get a little more sensation in our right outer hip. You can let your chin fall down towards your chest. I encourage you to keep your eyes closed. And keep just scanning through your physical, through your emotional, through your mental. Physical is such a good anchor point, though. You notice mentally that you're no longer paying attention to your body. Cut that cord. Come back. Soften your jaw, your temples, your scalp. Lift your chin up, and we're gonna take our left leg out long, but let's keep our ankle stacked over. So if you have to use your hand, my ankle bone kind of hurts when it goes into my thigh. We are gonna put our fingers between our toes. So pinky finger between pinky toe and the next toe all the way through. And we want to try to put the webs of our fingers to the webs of our toes. So take a little time to wiggle that connection all the way down. And then start to point and flex your foot. Take your hand and wiggle it from side to side. So we're trying to make room in our toe box. See if you can, just using your hand and your toes, just turn your toes in a bit of a circle, not rotating the entire foot, but instead smaller movements that are a little bit, doesn't feel like there's as much room for the toes. All right, let's keep wiggling it around a little bit. This is perfect for the last little day of Pisces season. Pisces rules the feet. Our feet keep us grounded in reality so we can still dream really big. All right, let's relax our connection. Wiggle out your toes. And then cross your foot over. So your foot comes down to the mat, right knee points up to the ceiling. Let's twist to the right. So use your right hand behind you for support. Lift your chest up, look back over your right shoulder. Back to center. Take your legs long again. With an inhale, stretch up, up, up. And then exhale, fold your way forward. Bring our spine back up tall. And then we'll take our seated pigeon with our left leg. So let's cross our left ankle over our right knee. Kind of wiggle your way in so we get more sensation in our outer left hip. Let's keep our toes flexed on the left side to just keep our knees safe. And then kind of settle in however you can here. You can drop your chin down. You can scan, make sure your jaw is soft, your temples, your eyes, your forehead, scalp, everything. Everything is soft. Letting go of effort and strain and pushing ourselves and just settling into where we are, practicing acceptance. Start to release ourselves from here. We'll take our right leg out long. And now we will insert our right fingers in between our left toes and really wiggle them in there. So again, we want the webs of our fingers on the webs of our feet and just start to take some movement. We're going to really slow it down. Not on autopilot. We are really dipping our toes into what we're doing. See all the different ways you can move. Remember, it's so hard to explain this. For some of it, we really do want to just wiggle out the top part of the foot. It is good. We can do the full ankle rotations as well. But this, putting our fingers between our toes really helps to create space in our feet. And all of our fascia connects down in the bottoms of our feet. And if our fascial system is funky, then it pulls the whole thing out. So just making room. Right. Let's release our hand from our foot. Give it a little wiggle, wiggle out your toes, and then cross your left foot over your right thigh. Let's twist to the left. Lift your spine up, twist back, look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Take your legs out long one more time. Big inhale, reach high, and then exhale, fold your chest down over your thighs. Take 2 more breaths. See if you have any more room. Anything else you can let go of, any more space that could be made. And then let's come up. We will take our legs behind us we're going to come into a tabletop position. So stack up, hands, hips over knees. Let's take some side to sides for some C curves, a little bit of a wiggle. Come back to neutral and then cow cat. Roll up and down, big, dramatic movements with your spine. See how slow and like long you can stretch this out. Eyes closed, focus moves within, just like that waning moon that we've got today. Come down back to a neutral table. Let's go to a melting heart pose. So we're going to keep our hips and our knees where they are. Just crawl your hands out in front of you. Slowly lower your chest down to the mat. You can put your chin on the ground or your forehead. Just let your armpits, your chest, let all of this, your heart space all open. Take one more breath in and out here. And then shift back up to table. Let's come down, put your hips on the ground, your belly, your chest, and let's come into a sphinx pose. So we will stack our shoulders on our elbows, palms down on the mat. Take a moment just to feel the length in your body. So stretch your legs from hip bones to your tippy toes. And then from your hip bones to your shoulders, lengthen your spine that way. Find a way to be easy here so you can drop your head down. You can keep your gaze out in front of you, whatever feels appropriate. Notice your physical boundaries. Notice how it feels to have your belly on the ground versus your full backside or your bottom. Notice how when you breathe into your belly, you can feel that expansion of your breath pressing into the mat. Another deep inhale. Let it go. Slowly release. Stack your forearms, your hands, and bring your forehead down to your forearms for an alligator pose. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And let's stretch out our shoulders. Let's take our right arm out long over towards 3 o'clock and then roll onto your right side. Allow your shoulder to open. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And slowly move to the other side. Left hand reaches out to 9 o'clock. Roll onto your left side, your left shoulder. Then allow your body to just be at ease. Allow your heart, allow your mind. Just nice and easy. Like the exhale. Take a breath in. and let it go. Let's come back to our stomach. Bring your hands beside your chest. With an inhale, press up for cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. 2 more times. Release your way down. We're going to inhale for 1 more big cobra and then downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Take a couple of dramatic pedals out, driving one heel down towards the mat at a time. Press into your hands all the way, all 4 corners of your palms. Your head a little shake. And walk your feet forward towards your hands. Find your seat. Let's put our hands under our bum and come down into a fish pose. Lean back onto your elbows, your forearms. Press your arm bones down and then let your head fall back. Slow and steady. Start to come down to the ground. Relax your head. Bring a bend into your knees. Take your arms open nice and wide. And just take a moment. Feel the ground beneath your feet, beneath your seat. Notice what parts of your spine are in contact with the floor and what parts have space. Notice where your shoulders and your rib cage hits the floor. Your arm bones, elbows, wrists, hands, and your neck, your throat, your voice, your jaws, temples, forehead, and scalp. Let's bring our knees towards our chest and then lift your legs up. You can stay like this. You can put a block under your sacrum. You can lift up for a shoulder stand. You just do what feels good to you. So I like to look and see if there are any people that were born with this planetary energy, because usually there are, and they're interesting. It's interesting to look at the themes of Sun and Neptune, that kind of blurry boundaries, imaginary, compassionate, maybe a little deceptive or manipulative, or maybe it's all just an illusion. Well, someone that was born with Sun conjunct Neptune was Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur was born in the 1800s. This was a while ago. He was a chemist. He's known for he's known for pasteurizing milk, pasteurizing juice, essentially heating things up to kill germs. He is one of the initial pursuers of vaccination. He made a lot of different discoveries in science and medicine. So just a couple of things from his Wikipedia page. He didn't have a medical license and he was vaccinating people. So blurry boundaries there, maybe a little deception. I don't know how he presented himself. I don't know, the rules might have been different then. Let's move from this legs up the wall, shoulder stand. whatever position you're in, into a happy baby with both legs. So we'll contact our feet with our hands, find a little bit of a movement, a little bit of a rock before you settle into stillness. There were a couple other things. He had he was marketing, he was promoting an anthrax vaccine. I'm pretty sure it was either anthrax or rabies. He did a public display. He wanted everyone to know what he was up to. And he said that this vaccine contains it's a live vaccine, a live culture vaccine. And it came out later to be that was not the case at all. It was like sodium bicarbonate or something. Like it was not what he said it was at all. And he kind of spent his whole life just like working with germs and trying to prove that what germs cause what illness and all that stuff. And then at the end of his life, on his deathbed, allegedly, he said, I was wrong. It's about the soil, not the seed, meaning it's our body, it's the environment that the germs, bacteria, whatever are in that makes a difference, not the germ itself. Let's bring our knees in towards our chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a hug, nose to knees. And then relax head and shoulders down. Take your arms open wide. Cross right knee over left knee and drop your knees down to the left. Turn your eyes over to the right. So let's come back to that. There were a lot of illusions and cloudiness and murkiness and just kind of blurred boundaries with this man. He kept things pretty secret. He made his family members promise that his laboratory notebooks would remain absolutely private under any circumstance. That's kind of Neptunian, secrets and keeping things in the dark. Now, we don't know whether he was intentionally like being nefarious or if he just had such an ideal vision in his mind that like that's all he could see. And we get in, that goes right into this like blurred boundaries, blurry reality, just unclear perception. And I don't think it really matters if he was trying to be nefarious or if he was just had this ideal that he was working towards. I don't think it really matters because I think it's an important lesson. It's so many ways. Like it's important for us to spend some time trying to figure out what is real in our own lives. Like what are perceptions? The things that we encounter, the conversations that we have, our circumstances. It's really important that we make sure that we have the clearest grasp on the situation before we get emotionally involved, before we take action, before we get mentally stimulated. And that can just be really tricky, especially when emotions are involved. Let's come back through center and take our twist to the other side. Left knee over right. Drop your knees to the right. Drop your eyes to the left. And twist. So there's so many ways we can do that. Connect with reality. Ground your feet down. You can literally just stop, pause, close your eyes, and witness your feet being grounded on the ground. Bonus points if you go outside and ground with the earth beneath you. You can make a list of knowns and unknowns. That gets a little into that weird truth territory that I talked about with Carolyn Mace. Because knowns can quickly turn into unknowns. We can take inventory of the tangible things. We can cut our cords and get other people's murkiness out of us. We can slow down and regulate our nervous system. by taking long exhales. Let's come back through center and get your body ready for a final resting pose. So if there's a special shape, a special stretch you'd like to engage in, just take your time, get yourself there. Then I want you to turn on your imagination again. And I want you to imagine a figure 8. That crossing point is at your belly button, the point where all the lines kind of cross through the middle. And then there's a big loop that goes up to heavens, to God, to however you like to think about that. And then at the other side, it goes down to the core of the earth. So we have this figure 8 moving through us, crossing through our belly button, going up into the heavens, and then down into the core of the earth. And I want you to imagine as you breathe in, you go from your belly button up to the heavens, to the very tip top. When you breathe out, you draw down from the heavens, down back to your belly button. You breathe in and send that next loop down to the center of the earth. And then breathe out, draw back to center, and just keep making that figure 8 loop with your imagination. Going up to heaven, connecting with the heaven energies, and then down into the earth, connecting with that grounding earth energy, stabilizing and durable and practical. This is the balance that we want with Neptune, with anything really. Another breath or two working through your figure 8. Reach your arms over your head. Take a big stretch. Inhale and exhale. Very slowly, with your eyes still closed, make your way up to a seated position. Stack yourself up so your head is resting on your shoulders, which is resting on your hips. And then let's just bring our hands to our heart. Close your eyes and offer a little prayer of gratitude, of fortification, whatever other kinds of prayers you'd like to submit in this morning practice session. Take one more swoop with Archangel Michael's sword, cutting all the cords that muddy up your inner water. And with all my love and all my gratitude, namaste. Thank you for practicing this morning. I hope you enjoyed your practice.